welcome to my presentation over recognition and appreciation in leadership. My name is Faith Richardson, and I'm a part of the Central Leadership Council. And today we'll be talking about how we can possibly use recognition and appreciation in the workplace and what it really is, and possibly give you some different ideas to lead off in your own organizations. So recognition and appreciation are two big influences in leadership in the workplace. Whether you're on a staff, have one of your own, work in an office, or another group setting with other people, everybody strives to feel loved and appreciated for the work that they do. And they're recognized for their hard work, contributions, and efforts that they put into their job. These two words are big and they're kind of sound similar, don't they? So what's the big difference, right? So let's break it down. Recognition is positive appraisal or feedback for results or accomplishments. This can be conditional praise. So if I notice that you did really good on a exam or a test or something, I would say, hey, great job on that exam. I saw that you did really well. Saw the hard work that you put into studying. You're usually not recognizing somebody unless they have done something, met an objective, finished a project, reached some sort of achievement. And I think that this needs to be changed. Recognition is important for us and our self-efficacy, which is like the belief within ourselves that we can successfully complete tasks. And whenever we have praise from other people, just from doing small or what is seemingly minimalistic things, it can really go a long way, even as adults. So even noticing like how hard you're working on a hard day, or even if you got a C or D on the exam, being like, hey, I noticed that you still tried really hard, you tried your best, and I recognize that, that's still important. Appreciation, on the other hand, is understanding and appreciating the value of the person. So this is really talking about the person themselves. You're focusing on their efforts, behavior, and intentions of a person that should be appreciated. A lot of this should be reinforced into the culture of the group, organization, club, company, whatever it is, to see the most results. This is just, at the most level, just appreciating them for what they are doing. You're not necessarily focusing on some specific goal that they met, the status reports that they had this quarter. You're not really doing that. It's just really focusing on their efforts and appreciating them as a person, even on their bad days. That's what this is. Which whenever I talk about them kind of recognition being less conditional, they kind of blend more together. But either way, you're uplifting a person. They don't need to succeed in your eyes to have to be recognized or appreciated. So here are some things to remember. Have good intentions when giving others appreciation and recognition. At this time, it's not about you. So what I mean whenever I say this is don't be giving out appreciation or recognition to make yourself feel better, make yourself look better, because this person has something that you want to try to get in with them. That's not good intentions. It's really just trying to focus on them and just trying to step in their shoes and see what they're doing and appreciate them for that work. Why is this messed up? Anyway, honestly, you're not, it kind of goes the same with intention. Don't reinforce negative behavior. If somebody's doing something that you don't like or you don't really appreciate that, don't accept praise or say thank you or be like, hey, I really like it when you do this if you really don't. So don't give out false appreciation or recognition, because this can be hurtful, and the other person doesn't really know how you genuinely feel because you're not actually communicating that. So that's why honesty is important. Be genuine, personal, and time sensitive. Don't try to give somebody a grand gesture if they look like they're in the middle of a really stressful week. Make sure to read the room and the person. This is really important people that are maybe more introverted or shy probably aren't going to enjoy a grand big gesture on, how they've been doing great recently and it's in public, and that could give somebody a panic attack, and we don't want to do that. We want to give these people these things in a way that they'll appreciate them and they'll like them and enjoy them. Be attentive to your team, building rapport based on personality and work interactions, but make sure that you still recognize that your coworkers and your teammates are still people, and you have more than a job in common with them most of the time. And this is something that I've been personally really bad at. So noticing when other people need to be lifted, those low points, other people's needs, kind of recognizing who they are and what they need and want outside of their work role. So notice these trends, notice changes in behaviors. Just try to physically be there and mentally be there when you're with your team. And here's why it matters. So these statistics are coming from companies that essentially surveyed their own employees or sent this survey that they created out to other companies who then surveyed their employees. And this is kind of a summary of all the data that they found. So only a quarter of employees strongly feel that they are connected to their culture within their workplace. So this is kind of like having everything just kind of being one way. There's not really any mention or look of diversity in the place. And this is really important to people to feel included. A third of them are only strongly agreeing that they feel like they belong at their organization. If they don't feel like they belong, they're not going to stick around, unfortunately. So then that hurts retention, obviously, in your organization as well. And we want to make sure that everyone feels as if they belong. We don't want to ostracize or exclude others. We want everyone to be at the table. The more people and the more different types of people that we can all get at a table together, discussing, sharing ideas, is the best. 36% of employees report that their organization have some sort of recognition system in the workplace. 36% is low. We can get this high. When people feel recognized for the work that they do, they feel like they belong, they enjoy their coworkers, they have a good sense of purpose or why in what they're doing. That's what keeps people sticking around. 10% of employees report being asked about their preferences for how and how often they get recognition. So this shows that while maybe companies or organizations are employing these devices in recognition and appreciation, they're not doing it in the ways that are being receptive to their employees or their coworkers. So this can be extremely harmful. Just because your intention is great doesn't mean that your impact is going to be, and that is something that you really have to understand as a student leader. Reasons to make the change. So, same thing, same kind of survey, but they noticed that these were the differences in the companies that had recognition and appreciation initiatives in the workplace. 3 times more likely to see increased retention. I feel like I've talked about this enough already. 5 times more likely to see increased engagement. So this is engaging in your workplace, showing up to more events, socializing with more people, expanding your network. 2.25 times more likely to give frequent recognition to others. And that's for every individual lifting up their coworkers. They're more likely to do that. And that's instilling something that is not only a change at work, but also a change within the person, because that's a change of perspective. These are great skills to gain as an adult, and are highly undervalued, but are extremely important. 2 times more likely to see improved individual performances. So they're engaging more in their work. They have that increased sense of purpose, that why. They find those reasons to do what they want to do, and for coming to work, coming back to the organization, putting in what they do. So there's 6 different types of recognition, and we'll be going over each of them. Public, praising an employee's work in a venue that other people can view, events, written or social media. So think of this would be like as a leadership banquet almost. So people are receiving awards, there's work posted. This can also be like the signs that students and professors have done, like research-wise together, that are featured in the Levenger building on campus. Stuff like that. Private would be acknowledging an employee's performance only to them. So this would be like you and me just having a conversation, or I give you a little note of appreciation left at your desk or in your mailbox, or I send you a nice email unexpectedly. It's just you and me. There's nothing else about it. There's nobody else involved. It's personal and it's private. Peer-to-peer, this would involve an employee's hard work receiving acknowledgement from a coworker or a peer rather than a manager. This can be public or private. This can be kind of associated with any of these, really. But the important key difference here is that it's not being received from someone who's in a higher up leadership role, a manager, an owner of a company. It's just from the staff that you work with. Structured recognition in the form of pre-planned emails, speeches, events, or other curated forms of recognition. So this could be being featured in like the UCM daily email that goes out every single week. So that's something that's pre-planned. Or giving a speech at a banquet about somebody as you're handing them an award that you're giving out. All of that is pre-planned, from what you write out in that email that's going to be sent out, to what you write in your speech, to everything about that event. Milestones acknowledge employees who have completed extensive and significant service. A lot of times you see this as a plaque, but in the simplest form, I think that a lot of people can relate to, is seeing different name tags of Walmart employees who have been there for like 10 plus years, which I hope that they're receiving more appreciation and recognition than that, but that just kind of like gives you the idea. This could be like a plaque or something like really cool, to keep in somebody's house, like some sort of, I don't know what you call that. A really important item, a sentimental object. So a team or a project, this would honor an entire group of employees or people who have completed positive work. So this would be like the whole entire CLC being recognized for their impact project by the university. Or use the team recognition to show how valuable their contributions are to a greater whole. So this is showing how each individual's work and purpose is striving to complete a bigger goal, contributing to a larger pool of something. It could be done in one of those two ways. So you could have traveling awards or plaques. You can make it a game to where there's like some sort of spinning wheel, or like just like a wheel that you throw like an arrow at, and it pins and it sticks on somebody's name, and you have to do some sort of team activity surrounding that person, maybe through like verbal recognition if they would like that, or writing them a note. Obviously preferences would be important here. Making a goodie basket of wants and needs to somebody, or a department, organization, or staff that is just really going through a hard time. They're really stressed out. They're under a lot of pressure. Notes, letters, emails, like we talked about. An appreciation form. We have an appreciation station here on campus through NRHH. So you scan this QR code and you can fill out a form to send someone appreciation and recognition, either from you, or it can be anonymously. A piece of candy is included, and this can go to students or staff, so it's pretty great. I always try to do an appreciation jar. So if you get a big mason jar and you have like a staff every time that you meet, like write down something that they really appreciate about the other staff member, or something that somebody did that day or in the last week, and then you fill it up, and then you go over it the next meeting, and you repeat that process of filling up the jar and going over it. So that can be something that is included in staff meetings, or like highs and lows. Those are just a few ideas. But if you have any questions or want to brainstorm any ideas, I would love to do this with you. So please don't hesitate to reach out and email me. I'm always more than happy to help you.